Assalam, Queen Phoenix Ramadan L. Jackson, back in the moonlight of Al Brazeera Cyber Network. Tonight's Pisces New Moon Light video conversation is regarding archetype energy. Archetype energy is really heart energy, heart consciousness, and often twins share this form of consciousness because they share this form of sensitive communication. These sensitive vibrations because of their close connectiveness in the womb. Heart consciousness is reflected in our emotions. These vibrations are sensed in our heart, and based upon how these vibrations make us feel, they are interpreted as emotions. Thus, emotions are derived from heart consciousness. And this heart energy, okay, is our consciousness, okay. From this is derived our consciousness. Our soul is, and this heart consciousness, which is heart energy, is our soul, and our soul is the foundation of our very being, right? And they say the seat of the soul is in the heart. It's been said the seat of the soul is in the heart. It is within this foundation, the heart, we are able to discover or sense our inherent programming of who we are and what we are, and and our gifts and our talents, from our programming, from our heart. So to discover who we are and what we are, we got to go inside. We got to go into our heart, right? Everything we need to know about ourselves is in our heart, encoded in our heart, our inherent programming, and it's been programmed by the angel, right? Because we said, as in Islam, it's said that when every child, in the womb, there is an angel in the womb that aids in the development of the child, okay? And the video that I posted about was a documentary about the developmental process of of the child, the fetus, the baby, right? It showed a part that was the organizer, okay? The organizer is that part in the womb that every stem cell passes over, and from that organizer it gets its programming as to what type of cell, what role it is to play in the developmental structure of that baby, okay? And that begins from a short time, very, very short time after inception, okay? So our inherent, and so that means every cell of our body has been programmed, pre-programmed, predestined, okay? Because, and as I said, that includes our body, which is a form of condensed energy. So our body is a physical expression of that programmed energy, that energy, that heart energy, is is considered our spirit, right? That's considered what our spirit is, okay? And they say what do we say? That the seat of the soul is in the heart, okay? And then our soul is our spirit. It's energy. Okay, and that is what our heart sense is, okay? And that is why it is important, it's very important, to remain connected to one's nature, to stay close to one's heart, to those senses, so that they will be able to pick up on those very sensitive vibrations, that very sensitive inspiration, that intel that is coming from the universe, okay? That is picked up by our heart. And also why it is important to remain compassionate and with a humanitarian spirit, and to be compassionate, forgiving, generous, or charitable, virtuous, right? because virtue involves the heart. And not to be desensitized. Don't desensitize the heart, okay, and become what? Harsh and abrasive and aggressive and forceful and warmongering and all these kind of, following people like stupid ass Donald Trump, okay, who's really a terrorist, a local, what do you call it, domestic terrorist, okay. That's basically what he and Hillary is, because they want to take us into war and continue to divide humanity and separate it from its heart and think that's intelligent. That's a logical thing to do. That's not even the last thing to do. That's the thing you want to do if you want to go to hell, right? Okay. Is to desensitize the heart and become harsh and abrasive and aggressive and competitive and all this, rather than a network with love. Okay, so we must stay close to our heart sense, okay, which was programmed, our neonatal heart sense. Okay, if we want to stay intelligent, we got to stay connected to our inherent programming that is encoded in our heart, so that we'll be able to sense these sensitive divine, we'll be able to sense this sensitive divine inspiration. Okay, so it's important to remain compassionate. It's important to remain a good humanitarian, okay, and to be patient and empathetic, childlike, which protects the heart. And so it's very important to protect our heart, to protect our spiritual purity. Okay, to protect our innocence, the purity of our energy, as we got to protect the purity of our energy. Okay, so we stay as close to its original inscription. Okay, so it's like the Bible, okay, or the Quran or the Torah, right? It has to stay pure to those words, okay, without any like we said, the interpretation is not good enough. We can't go with the interpretation. We need the word. That's why in Islam, the Quran cannot be interpreted the word alone. It can be interpreted, but the original word has to be beside it. So it's like the person, you know, that they have to, staying true to one's heart. It's like they're staying true to the original, you know, program that has been placed in their heart. So when you be yourself, when you stay true to yourself, you're staying true to your heart, you're staying true to the original program that was placed in your heart from inception. That's why it's important to follow your dreams, to listen to your heart, to listen to your soul speak. Because when you listen to your soul speak, you're basically reading what's inside your heart, what God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, put in your heart. Okay, those words He put in your heart. That's why it's important. And that's why, and when Jupiter hits the house of Libra, it's going to be, that's like the seal that's going on in the heart. And whatever you have written in your heart, whatever you put on top of the writing, the program that has already been in there, as you have running the commercial program, the one that's being put, that was put on this commercial program, that comes from the mind of from the Rothschilds and all that kind of stuff, from this commercial world and all that, and the Vatican and all that. Then when that seal goes on the heart, that's going to be in the heart, and there's no way to get in, back in. Well, you'll just have to adhere to that program, okay? But if you got your heart purified and you're staying close to the program that Allah put in your heart from inception, okay, that the organizer programmed in your heart when you were being formed in the womb, then you're going to be, then that when the karma comes around, you're going to have good karma. And karma, you're going to reap the positive benefits of maintaining the purity of your heart. And the purity of your heart is staying true to that, you know, the encryption that was placed in your heart when you were in the womb. Okay, and staying close to that purpose, because everything has a purpose. Okay, so if you were programmed, okay, and everybody was programmed, they were programmed according to the needs of the Creator. Okay, so you have to go with that inherent program, go with that program in your heart. Okay, and to go with that program, you got to stay close to that program. That's the archetype energy, the original that was placed in your heart. Okay, that's like I said, that's like a Bible in your heart, in your soul. Well, that is your soul, that energy. Okay, and it dictates what you are to do, how you are to live your life. Okay, everything you need to know about yourself. Okay. So, and to you gotta have a soft heart to pick up on those soft vibrations. Okay, that will activate that heart, aid in activating that heart. Okay, and delivering that divine intel. Okay, or enhancing it, right? And it has to stay pure. It has to stay pure to that writing that's been placed in there. Okay, not so much writing, but I'm using writing as an analogy, as a parable. Okay, okay, so it has to stay pure to its original encoding. Okay, and by okay, and so that now, so if it's pure, okay, there's no let's say overriding that program. Okay, if you didn't let the world override that program by what the world thinks you ought to be doing, what the world thinks you ought to have, what the world thinks is good for you, if you still go to what's in your heart, if you live your life according to what's in your heart, then you still have the soft heart, and you can pick up on those universal universal vibrations, right? And what's the primary thing? What is the universal theme of the universe? It's love, right? Not warmongering, not killing, not watching vampire movies, suck people's blood and all this kind of stuff, right? Murdering and all this kind of stuff and bludgeoning people and all this kind of stuff. That messes with the heart, because that's not the program of the heart. To harm, to take life. The program in the heart is to give life, to protect life, to sustain life, to love life, right? Okay. And that encryption in the heart, that spirit in the heart, right, is the Holy Spirit. So in every child born is a in every child born, okay, is a Holy Spirit. Every child, if it comes from Allah, it comes from the Creator, then that's a Holy Spirit, right? Okay. So every child, like in Islam, it says every child is born a Muslim. It's their parents that change them. A Muslim means believer, right? Okay. So, so I got to keep that purity, keep the inscription, right? Pure, meaning not let the world override and tell you who you think you should be, who you should follow, and who you should love, and who you should this, and who you dictate your life, basically, getting you off course from your purpose. You know, if you stay pure to that, you'll be and soft, right? Sensitive, humanitarian, compassionate, forgiving, loving, empathetic, right? You're able to connect with other hearts, okay? Sensitive hearts. Then you can connect with the universal spirit, because the universal spirit is compatible with the encryption in your heart, okay? And it's archetype energy. That archetype energy is still out there. It's still all around us. It's in your neighbors. It's in the baby when he's born. And anybody who still maintains that purity in their heart, babies can feel it from other people. That's why sometimes when a person comes around a baby, the baby will smile, because they're feeling that archetype energy that they sensed when they were in the womb. Well, and they're just barely, newly from the womb. So they still have that sensitive heart. They haven't been corrupted by their spirit, hasn't been corrupted by this commercial energy, this commercial lifestyle. Okay? Now, I'm not saying commerce is bad. No, we got to trade with one another. We got to have an economy. We got to have all that. But this war, killing people and hurting people and starving some, and racism and being prejudiced and discrimination and all this kind of stuff, and classism and sexism and ageism and all that stuff, that's corrupting the heart and the soul. You know? Telling you who you should love when in your heart you're supposed to love everybody. Okay? You're supposed to love everybody. You can't hate nobody. Let's put it that way. You can't hate nobody. You can't even hate the devil, because that messes with the heart. You can keep him away and pray to Allah to keep him away from you, but you can't hate. Hate is bad. Hate is not good. Hate is not of the Holy Spirit, right? So we got to stay true to our inherent consciousness, our Holy Spirit, right? And most times, those archetype energy, Okay, it's very distinguishable. Okay, there are some with greater some archetypes energy that is that has a greater that is more distinguishable than others, right? And such individuals, what do we say? Such archetype energy can be recognized like wait, let me go back. Okay, it's distinguishable among, well, yeah, everybody's, okay, everybody's, wait, while, you know, primary energy is of love, right? Okay, everybody's program is of love, right? But everybody's program, everybody has their own program, right? Of how they're going to act upon their, you know, how they're going to express this love, right? Some do it through music, some do it through art. Let's put it, all life is art. But some live their art as music, some live their art as painting, some express it as drawing, some express it as building furniture, some express their art in building houses. Art is just your personal expression and how you do things. Okay, some express it through cooking, some do express it through it's what you love, because it's coming from the heart. Right? That's your gift, that's your talent. Some do it through psychology, some do it through writing, some do it through, you know, cosmetics, some do it through making clothes. But it's your personal expression of, from the heart, from love, who you are, and your contribution to the world. Because nobody's heart is large enough whereby they can do everything, build a house, build a furniture, build a, you know, paint, cook, and do all these things, right? Nobody can do all that. So, as a, a body of humanity, we all, you know, do things, you know, from our heart. We are programmed to have a purpose to do different things so that we can collectively network together and share our gifts and talents, right? And all of them are profound and all of them are beautiful, okay? Because they all come from the soul and they all come from the Creator, right? So we got to stay connected to our inherent program encoded in our heart, right? Oh, as we said. Now, and so what did we say? So heart consciousness is about what did we say? It's about love. And doing what you love, and it's distinguishable among each individual difference, as I said. Yet there are such individuals with archetype that is, you know, archetype energy that is, what do we say? That is that connects with us all collectively, right? Okay. Okay. Now and this energy, those with this form of energy. Okay, their character nature is very distinguishable from, you know, the majority of individuals, right, with their heart consciousness. Okay, and this heart energy, it remains the same regardless of the number of times regardless of the number of times it is recycled. Okay. Okay, regardless of the number of times it incarnates or embodies to manifest on this physical plane, this archetype energy is very exceedingly distinguishable, right? Where sometimes people have to dig deep and they have to, you know, go into meditation or study and all this type of stuff to learn more about their heart and their gifts and their talent. Well, these archetype individuals, they really don't, they basically know from, you know, from exiting the womb, their purpose in life, okay? And as I said, this energy stays the same regardless of the number of times it is recycled to incarnate or embodied to manifest on this physical plane, because the nature of and the objective of this archetype energy, okay, is the same. Wait, it is the same. It stays the same throughout time. And a prime example of this are individuals such as prophets. Okay, their behavior and their traits are absolutely unique. Their abilities are unique. Okay, like Moses parting the Red Sea, or Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam being told to read by the angels and then doing so. Okay, or Prophet Isa, you know, and all his miracles. Okay, and that's prophet born of a virgin. Okay, and the virgin herself, the virgin Miriam herself, you know, giving birth to a child without the aid of a husband or a man, is what I'm saying. Okay, and another is okay, and those individuals connect with the they connect with the collective heart, right? They connect with the collective heart of man because they're connected to the universal consciousness, right? Okay, and they always tell us, they always come with the same, as we said, with the same message, right? And that is to love, to take care of one another, to share with one another. They talk about the virtues of the heart and to live by the virtues of the heart. And they tell you the heart's going to be, mankind is going to be tested, right? And it's going to be, he needs to live by that program in his heart, okay? And they have that Holy Spirit, and they keep it pure, right? Okay, and they have the collective consciousness for humanity. They share the collective consciousness, whereby individuals, okay, carry, let's say, individuals who don't share prophets share the collective consciousness, but individual man, you know, let's say natural man, because we're saying the prophets are more than natural man, okay, they're supernatural, okay, but those who carry natural man, he carries he's embodied with his own consciousness. He has to go through the chakra system, raising his consciousness in the crown chakra, and then he has a collective consciousness. And generally, the prophets are born to teach us how to get in touch with the collective, with the universal consciousness, there whereby we have the collective consciousness, and he would teach us how to go through the process, through spirituality. To open up our crown chakra, thereby we get the collective, connect with the universal consciousness, Allah, and then have the collective consciousness, right? And we'd be like them, right? Okay. And another is children. Children also are another example of archetype energy, right? Children, some children are born with behaviors and characters of ancestors, right? So that's archetype energy also reincarnating itself, okay? The body is not reincarnated, but the energy itself. Let's say the formula of the programming of that energy is the same, and they act the same, they talk the same, they may laugh the same, they look the same, they love the same thing, they love the same, let's say the same art, the same sport, the same, you know, the same mole on the left cheek, you know. It's that energy that energy that has reincarnated, that archetype energy. It doesn't change just because it's in another body. The energy doesn't change, the body changes, right? The program does not change, it's the program, okay? It's like that book has been put in their heart, and that other person, in the newborn's, you know, heart, right? Okay, from one ancestor to, you know, to their descendants, okay? The heart of they may have the heart of a previous ancestor. That's like saying they have the book, the character, the nature, the program of the previous ancestor, okay? So children are another example of that archetype energy as it relates to the programming and programmed energy or encoded energy. We're going to go to video 2. Assalamu alaikum.